Hello, good afternoon. Today we'll look at equity market and specifically the EuroStoxx 50. We believe that following 6 weeks of consolidation, it could be moving up again, retesting highs into July. We will go on to our FinGraphs platform and first start with the hourly charts of the EuroStoxx 50. And as you can see, it's been a painful and long consolidation period since the beginning of May. We believe that we may be seeing the premises of a new uptrend, which could bring us out of this consolidation range and up to possibly new highs towards mid-July. The crucial point we would need to take out would be around 3,600. This is on the EuroStoxx future. Scoping out and looking at the daily chart or the perspective over the next few months, we could see the consolidation period that was initiated early May and which has now, after 6-7 weeks of consolidation, possibly come to a point where it could move up again. Our targets, these are our extended targets, impulsive 2 targets, could lead us back up above 3,600, possibly into the 3,700s. In essence, we believe that there's probably some potential here, but it is limited as we are indeed in very extended targets. Looking at the weekly or the perspective over the next few quarters, we are at the moment still in an uptrend. Our risk index is not quite overbought yet, and there is still a potential towards a year end, we believe, which could lead us in extreme cases possibly up to the 4,000 mark. Now looking at all 3 charts together, we could see 3 bulls at the moment, so a potential continuous uptrend. Still some potential on the weekly chart. The daily chart still sees a bit of potential, but is getting extended. And our hourly chart is moving up again, possibly towards mid next month to retest its highs and possibly a bit higher. Now we compare this to the mini S&P futures. And what we would want to say here is that although we are also in a potential continuous uptrend with all 3 bulls, it does look a bit more extended, and hence our call that the EuroStoxx may fare better than the S&P futures. If you see here, the weekly chart is showing impulsive done targets. We have reached the upper range of our impulsive targets on our weekly chart, so the perspective over the next few quarters. So we see less potential towards year end on the S&P 500. We could also see that the risk index here is overbought, which was not the case on the EuroStoxx. On the daily chart, we've reached our impulsive up targets, and we had been still moving up. It's a bit in a slight desync. It has been continuing up with the weaker dollar during the month of May and had since stabilized. Our risk index is overbought, and we could see a bit more of a resistance here on the S&P daily than on the EuroStoxx. The hourly seems to want to continue up, but it is also into its impulsive targets, so we expect less potential to the upside as with the S&P 500. One cause for that may be the euro. The euro, if we look at the weekly chart, is still, namely theoretically, in a downtrend over the longer term. It has a very nice low towards the end of last year with our risk index and oversold, our envelopes touching each other, and it had reached our targets both in terms of price and time. It is reacting up, but we cannot confirm an uptrend yet. In this context, the daily is heading up, yet has been consolidating since early June, and we believe that this consolidation could possibly last another few weeks, hence helping the EuroStoxx up versus the S&P. The hourly chart is still in a bull, but it's a very weak bull. You don't see any targets here, and we call this a neutral bull. It came down to oversold last week, has had a bit of a reaction up, but it seems like we can expect more works over the next few weeks here. So we believe the headwinds that a strong euro could constitute for the EuroStoxx are fading out, at least momentarily, towards possibly mid-July. Now looking at the risk of parameters, or looking at dollar-yen, we can see that dollar-yen is still bullish, yet neutral. It has a very strong correction last year, and we're now waiting for it to reconfirm its uptrend. The daily chart or the perspective of the next few quarters has reconfirmed its uptrend. Up to a few weeks back, it was still in a consolidation down. And so we could see that prices have consolidated nicely and are waiting, trying to move up again. On the hourly chart, we could see that this move was initiated, and it seems like that we should see some foray to the upside over the next few weeks. So potential continuous uptrend, which is more risk on than risk off. Now looking at the opposite side and at gold. Gold is still theoretically, as with the euro, in a downtrend. It also had a very nice bottom here with our risk index and the oversold towards the end of last year. It has since reacted up. This reaction has stalled over the last few months, and we could see now that we are back in a bearish trend indication. We could also sync that with the fact that our risk index was in overbought, so we have quite a weak bounce with an overbought situation in a downtrend, so that is always a dangerous situation. And you can see that on the hourly we are moving lower at the moment, and that could possibly last another couple of weeks at least. So a risk-off situation that seems to fade with weakening of gold and a strengthening of dollar-yen, a euro which is consolidating. All this for us confirms the fact that the EuroStoxx could move and possibly retest its highs, while it will possibly outperform the S&P. We wish you a very good week. Thank you very much.